This year was meant to be the year that you jacked into the matrix and got your best shit done. You were going to be a high performer in whatever your craft. But chances are, if you're watching this, that plan has already failed. So what can you do? Well, this video will explain 3 things that will help you do deep work. If you've clicked this video, I'm assuming you already know the concept and book Deep Work by Cal Newport. If you don't, here's the general gist. We're all now pretty bad at getting important and difficult stuff done. And many of us create or produce value from doing knowledge work. And the problem is doing this kind of work is becoming more difficult. We're plagued with distractions, we've got shrinking attention spans, and we're drowned in less important tasks that make us feel busy but don't actually help us get anywhere. Tasks that Newport calls shallow work. You know, mindless admin sifting through emails. And basically this stops us from doing deep work, those tasks and activities that require our full attention and focus, where we get into the zone and actually make progress on things that are important and also tough to do. For people in business, this may be preparing for an important meeting. For students, this is obviously writing or studying for an exam. And for other performers like athletes or musicians, this will be learning new complex skills, drills, and pieces. If you can't settle down to do deep work, then things become stressful. You don't make progress and bam, you fall flat on your face by bombing in that meeting, writing a bad essay, or getting cut from the team. Now you don't want that, do you? So what should you do instead? Well, you could just read or reread Cal Newport's book on deep work, but if you want some simple, quick, easy tips, then here are 3 things that I personally use to get into the zone and do some good deep work. Now you've probably heard of things like runner's high. The feelings of euphoria after a good solid aerobic workout, or just getting a mental pump on as well as a physical one from the gym. These can leave you feeling energized and ready to jump into some deep work, but I argue there's actually something else that we should all aim for. I call it the exercise mid. It sounds a bit weird, but bear with me. It's essentially a feeling of mellowness that comes from a workout that is quite intense, but is not too intense, and it's not too easy or routine either. It's somewhere just in the middle where it's just right. I personally find that the typical runner's high or the pump from the gym does leave me energized, but it still leaves me a bit too agitated to actually sit down and do some deep work at a desk for a few hours. Or from exercising too intensely, you're then just too tired and feel a bit snoozy because the high has been so big you then crash back down with an exercise come down. But this exercise mid leaves you feeling clear-headed and weirdly a bit docile. You're ready to just submit to your work and just jump right into it without having excess physical and mental energy that leaves you either too agitated or unable to settle into something. For me, my main form of exercise is running, and to achieve this exercise mid, I'll typically run between 7 and 9 miles at a pretty decent pace. If I run any further than that, then I tend to get a massive high that then comes with that massive come down after, and then I just can't concentrate the rest of the day. And if I run less than that, then yeah, I do still get a boost, but I have leftover physical energy that just leaves me too agitated and fidgety, so I can't actually settle down to do some good deep work. So on those days in which you've got to get some serious deep work done, then consider just trying to find a way to get that exercise mid. And if you're not exercising regularly right now, then start. Just start doing 15 to 20 minute HIIT workouts. Moving the body to move the mind is a real thing. Remember Goldilocks from Goldilocks and the Three Bears? She found the porridge that was just right. And you want to find the hours that are just right for doing deep work. Because no 2 hours in the day are the same. And the reason for that is because we all have very different attentional states throughout the day, meaning that some hours we find it much easier to concentrate and focus compared to others. And this is at the heart of a concept called attention management, which I did an in-depth video on previously, so do check that out here if you haven't already. But the basic premise is that all of us have a few select hours throughout the day that we're most primed and ready to engage in that deep work. So for some of us it is first thing in the morning, for others it's in the afternoon, and for others it's in the evening. So what you need to do is work out exactly when those hours are for you, and then safeguard them with your life and spend them exclusively on deep work. And look, I know that none of us have complete autonomy over our entire schedule. There are going to be certain meetings, classes, or appointments that we have to go to. But if you can take control over just one of those key hours for you every single day and assign it to deep work, what you'll find is that you'll be doing your best work, and it will be far easier to do that best work as well. And so the most proactive thing that you can do is block off those hours in your calendar and not let anyone else schedule anything into them unless you absolutely have to. Because otherwise you're going to be trying to fit deep work into other hours that are kind of like the other porridges that Goldilocks tried. Some of those hours will be too hot, where there's too many distractions, and others will be too cold, where you're just not in the right headspace and you're lacking the energy to jump into some really deep work. Now this last one is a bit weird, but it's really key. For deep work to actually occur, you need to enter what psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi calls a flow state. Those times in which you're so focused that 3 hours pass and it feels like it's only been 30 minutes. Doesn't happen as much as we'd like though, right? Anyway, to completely lose track of time and enter that flow state, one of the best things you can do is turn off time. I've done this since my first year of university, and what I would do is remove the time from my laptop screen, I'd take off my watch, I'd not bring my phone to the library, and I would just eliminate the concept of time completely. And the reason for this is because time is something that slows down the more we become aware of it, and with it slowing down, it invites more opportunities for us to grow anxious, panicky, and fidgety when we realize that we're wasting it. We've all been there, right? Where you're starting a difficult task and then you glance over at the clock and only 6 minutes has passed and you barely made a dent in it. And again, this just makes us feel panicky, agitated, and like we suck. And what this does is resets us from entering that flow state and that deep work state, which typically actually takes around 20 minutes to get into in the first place. So turning off time just removes another distraction, another barrier, and another hurdle, those things that stop us from entering that flow state and being able to do a good solid period of deep work. So these are 3 things that are going to help you do some deep work. Before you go away and do some great things, do give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and also let me know in the comments below which of the 3 tips you're going to try out first. Thanks ever so much for watching, really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.